Hey there. So bit of a demo on my Laney Ironheart 120, and we're going to use the Gym Roote Jazzmaster. Now, the only thing Fender about the Gym Roote Jazzmaster is the brand Fender itself. The Jazzmaster, along with the Laney Ironheart 120, if you didn't know what you were looking for, you would honestly thought that you just bought something dud. They're not cheap. Now, I I just want to. I think the most metal part of a Laney Ironheart, if you didn't know what you're looking for, is the bit of eye section in the brand itself. And they say it comes from black country and like it's metal, but like I need to see what metal is classified at. So I'm not saying that it's good for queefing, but like it's not metal. And you know, when I talk metal, like Parkway Drive or Eamon Amarth or Kitty, yeah, or even Hatebreed, just metal. And you can head even higher than that. But this is like I've watched a load of videos on the Ironheart 120, and you can see the disappointment in all of the guitarists' face as like it's not metal. It's like, will it chug? And someone can go, oh yeah, that sounds great. And it's like, well, it's great that it sounds great, but the Laney Ironheart, as close as it gets to metal, is it's a good silent overdrive in its so for the metal side of it, because I knew what I was looking for, and it is an absolute machine for me. But to purchase this without knowing what you were looking for, I had to revert back to my 12-year-old child, and I had to stop being posh about tubes, and I had to go back to the pedals that I like to actually, get the result that I was after. So when I say that like the most metal part of its metal aspect is the bit of steel in the Ironheart itself, just hear me out. I'll do it here. And you can hear how you got the tubes in behind it, and so it's good for like melodic riffing, but it's not metal. It ain't, and like your balls aren't falling out onto the ground like Randy out of South Park, where you need a wheelbarrow to push them around with. That's what you're looking for when you pay so much money for an amp like that. So if you bought this guitar thinking it would sound like a Fender with a clean tone, you'd be terribly mistaken, and you may as well just bought a Squier Stratocaster, because it would have given you the result of what you're after if you're after cleans. But if you're after metal, this is a big cab guitar. It is a meat axe for a warlord. That's what I came to understand. It is thick, it is heavy, it's simple, and it gets the job done. Now, in that same context, where the Ironheart, it's as good as an overdrive, where you'll need a distortion beyond it to get the results that you're after. So I'm going to use the intro of Spit from Kitty, and then I'll use Spit It Out from Slipknot, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, so there's no more introducing what's being said here. I hope it's not too loud. I haven't got the cab up too loud. let's just hope this works. So let's do Spit from Kitty first. Ola had this same problem. I'm using the first of the overdrives, not the second. It's not metal. Its metal is not metal, right? Now, I'm going to use my pedal board here. And so, you know how I did this here originally? I've got a pedal that does that, which is my smaller overdrive. Not really much different, right? So, when I say that the design of metal that they are spruiking of, it's like queef. It is the perfect foundation through the tubes that are available, and when it's tuned in properly, for a proper pedal to be laid on top of. We have torn what you would call the time-space continuum apart like a banana peel, and we get to now consume the atoms of excellence one mouthful at a time as we blow our mind. So their metal's no good, but the tube foundation where you can tune in, and like what you find with tubes is you've got this lovely warm thing behind it, but you've got to, there's a delay with them, and you've got to get the balance right. And you'll get that with the dynamics and the tones, and you get the basses in. And like, I'd hate to say I've gone to back into the 7th or 8th grade where I just want metal and I just want a sound, and I don't care if it sounds any good with the band, but like, I want to be happy. I want to chug, right? If you want to chug with the right pedal, this has a great foundation for a big rig cab. Big rig cab, Jim Root, Jazzmaster, big rig cab, the Laney Ironheart 120 with its tubes. Get your teenage death metal distortion pedals out again, and just have a crack at this one. So I'll just quickly do the Lionheart. Great, you could do some pretty cool melodic riffing with that. Now let's do Spit with the pedal board. Great. That's fun. No good for a band because there's too much bass in it, but it makes me feel good, and I like jamming with it, and I'm happy because it's the best sound that I've ever come across. For an individual who just wants to actually have fun, that's the best sound I've come across. So Laney Ironheart, their rendition of metal. It's so loose, it's loose. You know, I'm not saying you want fizz or tightness, but like, you want meat. That it is. It's just it's not tight. It's just it's flappy. It's just loose, and like you'll see other videos where you can see the guys doing it like, and you can see they're so utterly disappointed, but they're not wanting to let the brand down. But again, you got to know what you're looking for. So I only wanted a clean tone because I've got the pedals, and it provides rock solid foundation. So let's do Spit It Out by Slipknot now. as good as an overdrive. Right. Isn't that beautiful? Again. It's amazing, isn't it? So, again, just so there is no more confusing, the best that you're going to get out of the Ironheart amp is melodic riffing. But the foundation that it allows, because you can tune right in to pull the delay out of where the tubes bring in the warmth for the big rig cab itself, it's just distortion layered upon distortion layered upon distortion. And then if you want to go to the next level, we'll bring out Munky's guitar from Korn. Now, I didn't realise this, but this is the heaviest chugging guitar that I have personally come across, and it's because of the Evertune bridge. Because the strings are suspended on springs, it just makes, you can just palm mute for days and be happy, you know. Now, this is where the tubes come in. So you hear the, it's almost like there's a bass in behind it, but there ain't no bass there. We could just do a video on chugging that, you know what I mean? It's the springs where the strings are suspended on it. It's the distortion. It's the warmth that comes in. The gap has been removed. It's like it's a distortion upon a distortion upon a distortion. It's just, it's Cannibal Corpse. It's so heavy. So where I was disappointed, thinking that I had something cool turning up with the Ironheart, I could use that for melodic riffing, but for metal, it inspires me that much daily that I have played this. pretty much every night since I've got it, and I haven't done this since I was a teenager. Anyway, so the Ironheart, it ain't metal, but it's metal. It's got the perfect foundation to tie in where you remove the gap where you've got the tubes. So you have the tubes, you tie in the gap where you've got the tone and the dynamics, and you've got the bass where you remove it completely. So when you strum heavy, you're trying to get rid of the gap when you're strumming heavy. And I hate to say it's kind of like you're putting earphones on in the sound, but it's kind of like it's kind of like that. But once you get that sound right and you've got a proper tight heavy death metal distortion pedal to go over the top of it, that Ironheart amp, that is the balls. So it is a foundation for your pedals to be played through. Not so much something that you want to use the amp's distortions for unless you're after melodic metal riffing sounds. So it ain't metal. It ain't Thy Art Is. It ain't Parkway, you know. It's not Slipknot. It's not even Killswitch. They've obviously got pedals over the top of it. Great foundation though. So just clarifying that for anyone else who wants to buy it thinking that the actual amp sound itself is good, even with a double cab, disappointing. But the foundation, because you've got the tubes, is out of this world for a metal player. So well, you lose with one, you gain with the other, but you know, that's the same as the Jim Root Jazzmaster. If you bought that for clean, you may as well have just got yourself a Squire Strat. That guitar is for big rig cabs. So it's like the evolution of your own playing. You start to recognise that you are looking for meat axes for war, and you know these guys are out at it every night. And then you recognise that like these brands are onto something, but you want to have big enough gear to understand why they did what they've done, and you can understand it. It's just I'm glad that I can pass on to you. So if you feel like you're disappointed, you might be able to utilise what it is that I've found and find some happiness out of it. Anyway, Jesus loves you. Have a good day. Bye for now.